So once we have our sheet data as needed and it's outputting the questions array, we're ready to move that and migrate that into our web application. So just make sure that it is outputting properly, and I'm removing out some of the console messages. And we do have the same function that's loading the questions, the question content. So it should be fairly easy to copy and paste some of the code and easily bring it into our application. And instead of contacting the JSON file, we're going to be getting the content and coming out of what we've got within the JavaScript object. So we're outputting the questions. So let me just move this down to the bottom. And we can also output the questions on the page to make sure that we've got the same structure as we did from the JSON file. So let's put it into the validator. And everything looks very similar to what we have, or what we had whenever we're outputting with the apps 5, whenever we've reconstructed our JavaScript object. So now we can copy the rest of this information out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of apps 5. And then we'll update the code from the apps 6 into the apps 7 and just update the way that we're getting the data. So let's pull in content from apps 7. And that's again loading the content. And just again make sure that it does look the same. So we've got correct option and questions. So everything looks pretty good. And let's make an update. So adding in the ID and the URL. So going up to where we've got the URL. So ID and URL. And then let's load we've got the questions array. And then the only function that's really different is the load questions function. So let's go into there and update the load questions function with our newly constructed function that we did from the last lesson. So we're ready to start the quiz. Let's add in a new question. And what color is the ocean? So this is going to be blue, purple, red, yellow. So let's see what happens. So it looks like it loaded properly. Start the quiz. What color is the ocean? So we got it wrong. What color is the sky? We got it right. What color is the grass? Got that right. And also this one. So right now we scored 2. So 4 out of 4 questions completed, score of 2, and generated our response to the quiz. So we're able to successfully link our quiz application, getting more complex JSON data that's coming from the spreadsheet. And then now this is just running regular front-end code connecting to the sheet data. So you can load this onto your website and have the quiz content driven from a Google spreadsheet. And you can try it out, build your own version. And then of course, as you customize the quiz and the presentation of the quiz content, you can also update that, how it looks and how it goes through, and even how the results are being presented to the user. And the main objective of the earlier lessons was to be able to take JSON data, very complex JSON data, and make use of it within your web application. Now you're ready to finalize your application, whether you're getting a quiz from a JSON file or whether you're getting it from Sheets. You can go through the application and do some debugging, make some updates to the styling as needed. So in this case, go ahead and try to update some of the content within the sheet, refresh the web application and try it out, and just make sure that it is working as expected. If you have any questions or comments, I'm always happy to hear from you. Thanks again for taking this section.